Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining this webinar on no code and low code solutions. So I request which is Shilpa sir to address about the context of this program. Sir, you're on mute, please. You have to unmute, sir.
Now, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Perfect.
Oh, good. I don't know how to give it to mute. Okay, thank you, Asha. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our webinar on unlocking creativity, low-code and no-code solutions. In a rapidly changing digital landscape, the ability to create and deploy software applications efficiently is a competitive advantage like never before. Low-code and no-code solutions have emerged as transformative forces, making it possible for individuals with various levels of technical expertise to actively participate in the software development process. Today, we have gathered to explore the profound impact that low-code and no-code platforms are having on the world of technology and business. These solutions are revolutionizing the way we approach software development, breaking down the barriers that have traditionally separated developers from end users and business professionals. As we delve into this webinar, we will examine the core principles and capabilities of low-code and no-code platforms, providing a clear understanding of what distinguishes them and how they complement or challenge the traditional development methods. Thanks to Kirti, we are fortunate to have so well experienced and technology veterans as our speakers today. They will share their insights, best practices, and real-world use cases, illustrating how organizations are leveraging these platforms to streamline operations, boost innovation, and drive digital transformation. They also will address the exciting potential of low-code and no-code solutions in a wide array of industries, including finance, healthcare, education, etc. Whether you are an experienced developer, a business leader, or someone eager to learn more about this technology, this webinar is designed to empower you with the knowledge you need to harness the potential of low-code and no-code in your own professional endeavors. During this webinar, you will have the opportunity to engage in discussions, ask questions, and connect with like-minded individuals who share a common interest in the transformative power of these technologies. We believe that by understanding and embracing low-code and no-code solutions, we can foster an environment of innovation and efficiency where creative ideas can swiftly turn into reality. So, without further ado, let us embark on this journey of discovery and exploration, where we will unlock the full potential of low-code and no-code solutions. Thank you for being part of this insightful webinar. And let us begin our exploration of the future of software development and business process optimization. Harsha, over to you.
Thank you, sir. So we have our three astonishing speakers from Capgemini. Kunal, he is a director of Capgemini and has more than 20 years of expertise in large-scale IT project implementation with diverse experience in architecture, development, consulting strategy, and delivery of IT services largely in financial sectors. So TURGAF 9.1 and SAF E5 architect and Capgemini level 2 certified senior architect, having rich experience in complex systems, configuration and integration. So code technologies such as Microsoft technology, Duck Creek, on-prem, on-demand, Azure and SOA and integration. So we also have a senior manager at Capgemini, Tapas Das. He has 16 plus years of experience in IT sector with a dedicated focus on Duck Creek implementation for over a decade, specialized in Duck Creek building and policy implementation, ensuring robust and efficient solutions. He also has strong leadership skills honed over the years, enabling effective team management and project execution. He also certified in level 1 architect, having expertise and commitment to architectural excellence. So we also have a portfolio manager, Sunil Daipule at Capgemini. So he has technically and functionally astute professional with over 22 plus years of experience in IT, out of which 12 plus years of experience in Duck Creek products implementation. Exhibit strong project management skills within initiating the planning, estimation, scoping and executing projects and ensuring on time and quality deliver of the projects as Scrum Master Techno Functional Lead. He also certified in Level 1 Architect at Capgemini. So over to you, speakers. Thank you.
Thank you. Shall I share my screen?
Yes, yes, Kunal, you can do it.
Okay. Am I audible, clear, and loud?
Yes, voice is loud and clear.
Yep.
Okay. Is my screen visual?
Yes, yes.
Yes, it is.
Thank you. Okay. So good afternoon, everyone. So today we'll be talking about low-code, no-code solutions, and we'll start with our introduction. Already, somebody introduced us. We have three speakers for this session today. Myself, Kunal Mahanta, then Sunil, then Tapas will be sharing our experience on low-code, no-code platform. Let me tell you, like we all three started initially as a .NET developer. Okay, so not just .NET, but many other languages. We started coding and building applications, but nowadays we started forwarding them. Right? You can ask why we're forwarding them, and later you'll be able to understand like why you are forwarding those mass coding experience, or why you're not doing that. Right? So with the growth of technology and the new languages, new platform in the market, right? So slowly the traditional approach of writing the code, okay, that has been reduced a lot. And nowadays, the demand is like people need a quick solution and easy solution. So with less code or without writing any code, how can we build our application, right? So in this today's agenda, we'll talk about defining the low-code, no-code solution. Then what are the key characteristics of low-code, no-code solution approach, right? Then why this change, right? Why people are adapting to low-code, no-code kind of solution, and what are the benefit using these solution or these technologies? Okay, what is the business gain? Then not just you go for low-code, no-code platform, but when you adapt these particular solution or the technology, what are new challenges, or what are the things we need to consider when you adapt the new technology? Then we'll talk about real-world application, some of the real-world application. Then also when you develop low-code, no-code solution, what are the key considerations and what are the options available for us, right? Then we'll open up for the question and answer session, where we'll be able to address, we'll try to address many of the questions you may ask. So defining low-code, no-code platform. So what do you mean by low-code or no-code platform, right? So when we say low-code, that means writing very minimal code or writing very less code. What you used to write in a decade ago, right? So nowadays we write very less code, right? When you say no code, that means without writing any code, how can you develop the application? Primarily for the business users or the non-developer, right? How we can build the application without writing a code. Maybe a example like You just drag and drop to define a UI page, or you just define a workflow by just dragging and dropping few controls, and behind the scene basically it will build the application as part of the framework, right? So then when you run this application, basically behind the scene it will run the code, right? So when you said no code or low code, right? So it doesn't mean that without writing anything, the application has been built, right? There is something already built for us or built for the developer. Using those tools or using those basically platform or the frameworks, will be able to quickly develop the application, and that's rightly told in the Capgemini world. When the code goes low, right, means the business get on a high, right? So traditionally, if you look at the traditional approach, we used to write a lot of code, only code and code, right? So to build any kind of application, whether it's a desktop application, whether it's a web application, we used to write a lot of, so which evolved to a low-code platform where basically many of the things are predefined, kind of a model. Then there are metadata associated with the model. Okay. Then developer they used to write a very small amount of code, or maybe just a configuration. Okay. Then when it comes to low-code platform, as I mentioned, right, maybe only for the non-developers or the people, business user, they just need to drag and drop certain things, just an example, and application will be built, right? So the prediction is like by 2027, it will be huge potential for these kind of platforms, no-code and low-code platform, which the developer and the business user, they'll be using it. So with this, I'll hand over to Tapas, so who will basically explain the benefit of low-code and no-code platform. Thank you.
So I will be taking over from Kunal on the next two slides. So basically I will go, I think Kunal mentioned the overview of what is low code and no code, and how the industry is now trending towards this. And then I will focus on the benefits of, if you see the title of the slide, so it's saying the benefits. So it comes with the benefits as well. I will come across the challenges. So these are the two parts. Right? So if there are benefits, there will also some challenges to go with when you are going for any new solution, right? So these are the certain benefits I have pointed out. So, but it's not essential that these are the only benefits. But I have just pointed out 5 points. So, so faster application development, right? So, what do you mean by faster application development? Is because it is readily available solution in market. So what we can do is, or in industry, they need that sort of software to be used, then they can get it from the market, right? So examples like it can be a e-commerce application, it can be a CRM application, right? Such kind of applications which can be someone can take from market, and those are readily used with some amount of customization, right, or configuration. So so that's where it's is very easy to use, right? And it is so it's one time, it will be configurable based upon the requirement, or based upon the need of the customer who are the users of it. And then it will be easy to maintain, right? So this is where we're saying this is faster, faster to use, right? So things like this so suppose some company, they want an appointment scheduling software, right? So uh, then there will be reduced development cost, because no-code solution occurred due to decreased because we are not dependent on highly developers, because the organization or the company which is taking these softwares, these which are built upon the low-code no-code solution, they don't need to employ high-end developers to maintain their application. So that is where it's a reduce in cost, because they are not going to pay more for their job. And so those who are not trained in, suppose as Kunal mentioned, so we started like as a Java developer or .NET developer, and now we have forgotten those, right? Because the way the software market or the software industry is growing, and we are getting a lot of things on our fingertips, and so we are not writing much codes now. So by today's time, lot of things are developed, lot of things are available. So what we're doing, we're picking up the softwares and then we are using it, right? So because the product is so if you see our profile, so we say the Duck Creek. So Duck Creek, even we are working on insurance product, so this is a product already developed. So we don't need to develop those products from the scratch, so we are just using it. So similarly, in this case, when I'm talking about these solutions, so these are the softwares which are available, which can be used by whoever is requiring those kind of software. And they don't need to employ high-end developers, rather they can train their non-developers to use those. And even they can and even there are, so like Kunal mentioned, there are drag and drop facilities are available in some application. So even we can train someone who is not a real developer, who knows a proper coding, so we can uh, train those guys who may be your business developers. They can code. Sorry, give me 1 minute. Sorry for the delay, my phone was ringing. So uh, yeah, so I was there. So we can when we were talking about the low code no code solutions, right, the softwares. So even our business users, one company's business users, we can train them how to do that, and they can very faster, they can assemble those, and then the software will be ready for use. So this is where we are saying the development cost is less, because the product we are getting in, we are just getting trained in on how to use those or how to configure those. So it's readily available. So we are not waiting for a software development to wait for a long 1 year, 2 year long to complete it, then test it, then it will be available for our use, right? So this is one benefit of this solution. So we are not going for a scratch development to use something which is readily available and we are using it. Then we have a point, the next point is empowering non-technical users, right? So that is where again it's related to the second point I was talking about. So what it is saying is it's the individuals, right, which are not expert. So we are training, we are giving training them where they are trained, and they are they can use these interfaces, because these low code no code solutions software, so they are very user friendly. They come with very user friendly interfaces. And then the productivity is more, because we are using the non-technical users there, who can independently, they can create, they can modify, and they can even deploy the application, right? So if you think about a software lifecycle, what currently we are using, so it goes with lot of process, right? So developers develop it, then it goes to a server, then the people who are deployed to test those applications, they test this, then it goes to a different server. So a lot of activity happens, so which is a build, and then we deploy those, then we test those. uh, so here a non-technical users, even so now in current world, what you are
I'm
doing.
not getting your voice.
Sorry, yeah, can you come again?
So Priyanka voice is clear for us. Yeah.
Okay, the voice was not clear.
Yeah, it's clear, clear. Go ahead, please.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's clear for me.
Clear now.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry for
That's
this.
clear.
It was clear. Probably she got another phone.
Okay. Carry on, Tapas.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, so uh, I was I was telling about the interfaces, right? So the interface which comes up with these solutions are coming up with. So those are very user friendly, right? So one user they can get into those. They can understand what are the what is this screen is. So when a user friendly interfaces are, those are the screens which are used on those solutions on the software, right? And so it's not only the end customer who is using the software. Even when we are getting those products and we are working on those to get it ready for our use. So when I say our use, so any company which is taking those softwares, then it is very easily addressed there how to configure those, right? You can drag and drop those. So those are called your template based. So you can get a template to somewhere, you can fit into your based upon requirement, based upon how you want it to place in a screen. So it doesn't require a coding skill, right? You just need to understand their manual part. They are seeing how it needs to be done, right? So that way it is increasing our productivity, right? We are so instead of waiting in long years, 1 or 2 years to complete it, we are it's readily we can make it configurable in 2 to 3 months, right? So then you can say business, the solution is business driven, right? So what we need, what the business need as part of solution, right? So because this can be done by a business users, right? No developers need. So there is hardly you need to go into explain it to a developer how you want the business users. So they can their own self own they can configure it, they can customize it, and it's readily used, right? uh, then you can come up with the so then my next point is saying the enabling collaboration between IT and business team. So in typical software development, what we are doing or we are working with. So how it happens is the business team explain it to a certain business analyst, and then they explain it to the developers or the team who is there dedicated for the development, right? So hardly there is a very less communication happens between those business teams and the developers directly, right? It comes through some biomedia and there are gaps, right? So because the more you do the communication in more different channels, so when it comes to the end user end person who is developing it, then there will be something missing. So that generally happens because the business see it in a different way. When they explain it to the analyst who discussed with the client, they listen it, and when they communicate the same to the end developers who are actually engaged to do the developments, so there are a lot of miss and match, right? So when the final product is ready, we still find some issues there, and we again go and rework. So here, because the business user are more focused on configuring it, because they understand what is their requirement and how they want to see it, then there is very less communication gap happens. So the bridge is there between the developer and the business users, because they both can work simultaneously on these kind of solutions and they can build it, right? And then enabling collaboration between IT and business, and the scalability and flexibility. So these solutions are very scalable. So you can change them based upon your lead your need basis, right? So so you can get in, if you need some more functionality, you can add in more modules for your use, right? And this scalability ensures that application can handle and the workload the increased workload, and this will be adapt this solution will be adapt based upon the need on the business need, right? So and these are very flexible. You can modify and customize this quickly, and they can be ready with the based upon the business condition and the new functionality. If some new functionality is coming in, then you can easily change those, configure those, and you can and those are ready for your for the change you need. You can make those changes to those solutions, those platforms, right? Because those are very flexible. So you can make those changes, and those will be ready in couple of months or couple of weeks. Those will be available for your use. So these are certain kind of benefits in low code and no code solution. Is there any question, anything I just need to take, or I can proceed to the next slide?
You can proceed, Tapas. Last we can take the questions.
Okay, fine, no issues. So then I can move to the challenges. So as I mentioned in the beginning, so if because they are readily available software or the platforms, right? So it comes with their own challenges. uh, because uh, because this is not something we have developed. So when the typical development process what we are doing, so we are doing it based upon a certain customer. So
Tapas,
yeah,
sorry to interrupt. Who's sharing the screen?
I think it's
Can you,
Kunal.
yeah, can you please put the presentation on the screen? Kunal, are you there? I don't know whether other guys are able to see this presentation.
No, I'm sorry.
I'm not able to see.
No,
Kunal left the meeting.
Presentation
Can you
is
please
not
check
visible.
with Kunal?
Is Kunal not there? Sunil, can you share please?
Yeah, let me share that.
No, my bad. Maybe I was on my presentation, so I thought it's shared. Sorry
No,
for that.
I was,
Okay, no issues.
just give me one.
Thanks. Okay, so sorry to repeat. So as I was mentioning when I started this presentation on the benefits I was talking about. So when we are talking about some benefits, so the challenges are there, because in the typically when we are doing some development, we are doing it for a certain customer, and when we are developing the product, or when we are configuring the product, we know what is the need of my customer. But here, because they are readily available, so those are based upon certain industries. Suppose I'm talking about the banking software, or some, as I mentioned in the beginning, it's a some company needs an software where they can use it for their own use, for the appointment, what appointment they are, those are coming to their system, so they need to track those and they need to manage those. So because it is developed by someone else looking into, so they are very generic, they are not based upon your need, a particular organization need, but it's a generic need where they are developing it. So on challenges point of view, if you see, there are, I have just chucked out 5 points. So limited flexibility, right? Because we are getting it a software which is or a product which is already designed the based upon certain conditions and certain factors in taken into account. So there will be these kind of challenges. So so when you say limited flexibility, uh, it's a template based approach, right? So so mostly it will be template, because we talked about drag and drop kind of action we can do. We can drag and drop the templates from one place to another, so which might not cover all possible use cases once certain organization is needed, right? So it may, so if 100 organizations are getting you are using this, so maybe 50-60% it's adapted to their requirement, right? But not to of everyone, right? So there is possibilities that it will not cover all the use cases for those who are using it. So on that case, you can say it's that particular organization, they say it's not that much flexible to my use, right? So uh, this is one area where this kind of solution will fail. Then scoping, right? So it's again the scope or the design of the platform is based upon certain criteria. So they may lack capacity to handle complex, specialized, or highly unique requirements, right? So that's what I'm saying. So if it is something unique, is so I am using this, and I have some certain unique requirement, then I might not able to configure it how I want. So I need to deal with what is available on that application, and I need to deal. I need to go with that way. So sometimes I might need to change the way I am working to get myself uh, more aligned to what product I'm using, right? So and it is not only this no code platform, it's mostly where we are working on certain applications or certain kind of these configurable applications. So it's a basic problems there, right? Because they have designed it and developed it based upon some certain generic requirements, right? So so that way you can say the limitation. So when we are talking about extending it, so I'm suppose I took it and then I need to extend it based upon my requirement, then I might not be able to do it. So whether it might allow me to do some configuration or do some kind of development on top of this, but I need to uh, look into the limitations I have. So whether I can develop it or not. If even I am developing it, because it will be maintained by some other vendor, the actual product vendor. So if I am developing it, whether I am compliant to what they have done, right? So those kind of limitations will come into picture. Then the upgrade, so I was just mentioning, right? Upgrade. So because this product is done by someone else, this is available now. The product is with them, and they will be doing continuous upgrade to their product. And we have suppose we got it on the version that is developed in 2020, and we are using it now. But there is still they are doing the upgrade and maintenance that is that to their product. And when we as an user, end user, we say we need to we need some other functionality which are now available with the 2023 version of that particular product, then we will go and we will ask for the upgrade, right? So then we might need to get one the custom code and integration which are done, which we have done. Then we need to get those things done into the new product, or maybe we need to. So that is where I was saying, so those limitations are there. Whether even though it allows me to do certain kind of configuration and customization on top of that, but again, when the upgrade and maintenance upgrade will come, then we need to be aligned to the product manuals and all. Because I can't go out and I can do whatever changes I need, right? If I'm doing that, when the upgrade will happen, those changes which I have developed on top of that might not be aligned to the new version, right? So we might need to again think of again do the maintenance, or we need to do the customization again when we got the new version of the product. So those are certain challenges. Then suppose we are using one system. As an organization, we are using one such platform, and we have some other systems to our system is talking to a third party system which we are talking to. So maybe the challenges is like when we are doing the integration with a other third party that I as an organization I am using. So then connecting to those third party integration system, that might be an issue. So there will be no compatibility when I am using maybe there is certain data types, right? So XML, one transformation language is XML, one is JSON, right? So if the system I am integrating might be using JSON, but this particular platform I am using is only they can only work with the XML data. So there is a compatibility issue, right? And suppose there can be kind of complex data mapping kind of scenario which also come in between, right? The data So when we are dealing with certain data from a third party system, then we might not be able to map to what kind of data they need and what data we are providing. So this is one area where you will face challenges when you will use such kind of platforms. Okay. So that way, what it will do, the customization, we will not be able to do the customization that we should be thinking of as an organization to certain platforms.
Okay, so
Yeah. So one last point, Sunil, before I hand it over to you.
yep.
So there will be because this is a platform we are using, and because we are just doing configuration and we are using it, so there will be chance of security concern over this when we are using it, because this is uh, the data security will be there. Will the Because we will be feeding in the sensitive data to these systems, so those kind of issues will come as sorry, Sunil, can you take over? I'm just getting an urgent call in this.
Okay, no
My
problem.
manager is calling.
So yeah, the security risks which I mean Tapas is talking about. Thanks, Tapas. So it's basically, if you see, if you look at the this application, right, whether it's a low code application or the no code application. So if you look the categorization of the application, it may be capturing some information or maybe playing as a middleware into the application. So those in this kind of the uses of that particular application or the tool can have a data is coming, either your application or the whatever application is there is capturing the information first hand, then transforming it, passing to some other application. In that case, this security risk is on a very high level, where how does we are capturing the information as well as how does we are transforming it into the different application when it goes to the downstream system or some other legacy system. So those all things needs to be considered, and that is one of the challenge. Okay, that's what about the security. Now coming back to the some of the few use cases which is as of now we are having it. So these are the very high level of the application or the low code in terms of use cases for the low code and in terms of the no code. And basically you so far, I think what Kunal and Tapas just talked about, that what is the history about the low code no code terminology comes into the picture, how the software lifecycle got changed, and now we are in the such an industry which is completely got digitalized. I would say after the, I mean, last I would say the decade, as well as the internet come into the this industry, it the entire digitalization has happened, right? It's not only the small things, small functionality get for that purposes or the utility you can get the application. Either you'll have a tools are available or you can have some products are available, whether some of the freehand free tools like what we are using it. And if you're going to relate with the limitation and customization, you can see the most probably we are using all this in our mobile, right? You see the lot of application like WhatsApp, then LinkedIn. These are all nothing but an application, right? They have their own some limitation. They have their own some algorithm which you have to share some information up to this particular that group or the community. All these things come in the picture right now because of the sort of low code and no code type of applications that are coming up. Now, if you are going to touch upon the low code use cases, the low code is where the product is available, which Tapas and Kunal was talking about, where there is some sort of a little customization would be required or the configuration would be required as per the your users or your organization. I would say, your organization implementation sort of thing. So I will talk about some of the major application which has been so popular in our India. So have you heard about the SAP application, right? SAP is one of the very prominent player into the long term from a long time in the business. They actually come up with their application, which they have standard application. But along with that, if you do and if you wanted to implement in your organization or your company, you have to tailor-made that one. You can do a little customization, you can configure in such a way that it can be work for you and additional some sort of processor, because these all applications, the product what it does, that it is actually going to support most of the common functionality, right, which get followed into the business. Even is it a fintech application, whether it's an insurtech application, like we are prominently working from a last I mean more than 10 years into the insurtech application, which is we are having a duck rig, which is primarily gets followed into the low code application, low code category only. Because duck rig, I mean, if I'm going to talk about a duck rig, or there is other products like a guidewire, we have a majesco, these are actually going to serve to the different insurance carrier people, or the carrier companies who are actually using this application to either creation of a policy. They are writing the policy. The underwriter comes in the picture, who are writing the policy, making their premium calculation, and everything gets settled down. And then on that basis, if the claim is comes onto that, on that particular policy, that settlement get happen. So all of this entire, I would say, the life cycle of an insurance company get covered into this, all this application like Duck Creek, Guidewire, Majesco. These are the prominent one which is InsurTech right now in the North America market, and as well as now this has been started in Indian side also, in India market. But if I going to compare with the some very popular I would say the local application, like if you see, there are some I have high, I mean I just categorize little bit, like BPM applications are there, which is a business process management perspective. Those applications get used. There are some smart spreadsheets are available. This you might have heard, or these some of the application name. If you, I mean, I don't know whether you are aware about this, but if you do a Google on this one, you can come to know that, oh, these are the ready-made things are available, which you can use that one, and you can little do the configuration and customization, and you can use for your own purposes or your own organization, like that. So for example, this is data, this is, you can see database and data science. These are the advanced part of the roadmap into the digital world now is going, right. All of the things that so far, if you look at the today's world in the digital market, all the application, the tools, the product is actually heavily capturing all these inputs, right. But somewhere other way around, all this information, all this data is getting processed somewhere, and accordingly the analysis things are happening. Like if you see, the moreover, everybody are aware about Amazon, right. We used to go for shopping and all. I don't know whether you guys have paid the attention. If you go into the Amazon, you can see the sales figures comes into you can able to get, I mean, I have been seeing that whether if I'm a merchandiser, I mean, I would say supplier on the Amazon, I could able to see that which product is actually trending in which level, in which region, how much the particular product got sold over there. So all of this information, all of these reports and everything get processed because of this data science world right now. So all this information getting shared across the, not only with the other application, but across the, I would say, different application. This data is getting shared. Like similarly, the best part is that nowadays you must have seen that, right. If you're having a bank account, a lot of the loan vendor, right, who are actually giving the loans, they will keep you calling and asking you to, if you have a good your ratings and everything, how does that data get shared, right? How does that people getting all that information in the sales marketing? So generally the marketing team, right, who need this all information very handily available. So these are the tools which is applications are available, which get processed and uses for this purposes. Similar to, if I'm going to talk about the more internal one, like retools are there, then say, there is a out system is there. Then there is a Pega. Pega is actually more, it was very traditional one also, but nowadays it is more used for the documentation purpose. They have a lot of good types of templates who are there, which you can use it not only for capturing the business requirement, not only for your process document, but also for the guideline document, like that. I mean, different segment of the audience, you can have a different template and you can use it for your purposes. But these all things are handily or ready-madely available into this product, into this application that is there. And if I'm going to talk about the no code side, you see, moreover, I would say, which is if you look at it, and I would try to distinguish between the low code and no code. So no code is something which is very readily available. You have to just pick it up, start using it, just install it or register it, start using it. So you see, if I wanted to, I mean, practically, if I wanted to distinguish between, so you see the application, desktop application, web-based application, those are actually, which is now having for a longer process or capturing more information, those go into the low-code application. But there are some of the tools and I would say the products are available, which anybody can use it. Those are come into the no-code. And more in no-code side, you see the whatever tools are available in our mobile, like I talked about the WhatsApp, LinkedIn, then we have a lot of other small tools, right, with Insta and all. These are the ready-madely available. You have to just register it and use it for your own purposes, right? So Facebooks and all those. These are the typical example of no code, where you know how to write anything. This is readily available, freely available. You have to just go install it, do the registration and start using it. And of course, there are sort of nowadays, if you see, there are a lot of sort of upgrades are coming up which start giving you some features. Like if I going to connect back the a previous slide with Tapas was talking about, there is a limitation is there. I hope you guys have realized that when we were using the WhatsApp, right? I don't know if you are using from a 4 5 years back, there was a limitation of user. Even though there is a group concept is coming to the group chat, there's a limitation of adding the group member into the group, right? In the WhatsApp group chat. So these are the limitations they were having in that time when they come out with the product. But nowadays, slowly during the upgrade, they actually taken care, and now it is you can add, I think, more than 99 or something like that. So that things are get improvised. So this, how does that happen? Because this all information get captured even in the it will get processed, and accordingly, to make their product more and more dynamic, they are actually updating it and providing those upgrades and all. So in the no code, I mean, this is just one of the example I talked about the WhatsApp. Similar to that, you can see there are a number of products are available into the digital world. If you go onto the Play Store, you can see that all these different purposes, there are different products are available as per your thing, and which is you have to just simply you have to install it, you have to register it, and start using it. There are some products which might go to charge something with a very low minimal fee or something, annual subscription or something, and they're getting used over there. So what is these are nothing but a kind of products and the tools only. So that's what I was keep on talking that if you wanted to make a difference, so low code, I would say it's a more about the application which is used for a bigger business purposes and all. Sorry, or otherwise you see the low code which is uses for a small utility functionality or for your small purposes, like you can say the small tool we can you wanted to use it. Like there are, if you see in the downstream, you can see some of the examples of tooling infra tools are available. Jira, there is a for in any software, and if you are working in any product or in a project, you might have seen some of the for ticket management they have a Jira tool. There is a service now is also available. So these are the nothing but the product and tools are available which can be which is very minimal sort of uh, configuration required over there, and that can be worked for you as your your users. You can use it for tracking all the work or the hours you spend onto the ticket or something. It gets trial, I mean, it gets tracked over there. So these this is the basic difference, and these are the very usual and very common use cases are there. And it, as again I meant, if you see the purposes and the life cycle of a software development, the evaluation happen very dynamically. I mean, you see, when we were started, I mean, earlier these guys have also talked about it. When we were started the software industry and development, that time I started my journey with the DBase also. So that time we have to write a lot of things. We do not have a very fancy UI, nothing was there. So everything we have to write it. Even the window we wanted, we have to write a code for that. Then to get the window will come in the page. But now, if you see the Visual Studio, like we are if you using the Visual Studio, or either you can using the Java. Even in that also you can see the ready-made tools control system come up in the in the the newer version. Why this is actually behind the scene. You can drag and drop, and you can do a minimum configuration, and you can do your coding also. So it is not only the, I would say, kind of the application, the programming language got changed, but entire the entire market is got completely got driven up from the traditional application to the new set of application. And whatever nowadays, whatever new application, the new things are comes up, the main advantage which benefits which suppose we're talking about, to get more quickly, to minimize your time, your development time, because these all things are readily available. You have to use it, drag it as per your users. You can do a little bit configuration if it is required specific to your organizational behavior or something. You can that application might going to provide you some sort of customization thing which can be plug and play with the other intermediate system, and you can use it in a local side. Or if it is not, if it is completely entirely uses for your own purposes, you do not have to do any customization or something, you can use a no code sort of product or tool to use your whichever custom utility you wanted to do it. So that way this all entire dynamic got changed into the real world. And if you see broadly, I will touch upon some of the areas which is talk about the different purposes. Some of the web APIs are there, chatbots are there. Chatbot, I believe everybody is aware about it. Alexa, and a lot of things that comes into the picture. So these are the ready-madely available, right? You don't have to do coding to do, you don't have to do a lot of configuration. You just plug in, install it, and plug in your mobile or your application. It start getting work, and whatever you will say, it can work. So even in the future, right? I mean, we are looking at the next generation, which is we are talking about pretty much about the AI and all. If you see these all chatbots and all, it is in a sort of very, I would say, very initial stage of the AI, right? Which artificial intelligence we are using for different purposes, and where the manual intervention is getting very less. So now call center, if you call, you not have to person will gonna give you the answers and all. The chatbot is gonna give you the answer. I hope you might have, I don't know, I mean, seen or not. If you see some of the news channels, uh, they have actually created some emojis or the anchor's face, and that face is actually nothing but it's a image created by the AI tool, and they are actually reading out the news and everything with the different expressions and the look. So this is what the generation and the modern technology is moving toward the in an advanced way. So these are the very basic and some of the applications I was talking about it. So I'm just moving to the next part, which is the again this is the broadly highlighting the differentiation between the low code and the no code. And I mean this is already most of the stuff we have covered up, which when Tapas was talking about and the Kunal was talking about, it is most of the things are out of the box functionality, out of the box in the sense which is very common for every product or every application that is need to be there. For example, if you are having any financial product, in the financial product few of the functions are very important to capture that on all your financial transactions and everything. So this would be out of things, right? Which is as a functionality, as a business, it should be there. So those we can call it as out of functionality. A lot of things are available for drag and drop, which is earlier also we discussed about it. Interfaces and control, those are available. Reusability, of course, all of things are getting reusable, not only for one organization, but if you have a multiple organization also across the organization also it can be used. So that is there, and it can be helpful to manage the entire life cycle. With that, I mean the purpose of the configurations and these things is to manage the entire life cycle. Then of course the report, I mean you see these are the different areas which is where the low code is actually coming up. I mean you see the if you are managing life cycle management, or you can see the reporting management, all the different tools. Even in the reporting side, reporting management also, you see earlier they was having a lot of different applications that come into it. Nowadays there are ready-made tools and the products are comes up, Power BIs and all, where you have to just plug in, give your data, just build a connection and pass the information to them. It will get captured. It will going to read your data cubes and everything, and it will give you the pictorial view, whichever view wanted you want. Either it's a pie chart, whether it's any other diagrams you wanted, it can be reflect and can give you. So these sort of things are actually already been available, and these are the majorly you see the life cycle has been get covered during your low code platform. It talks about the cross platform accessibility, as I mentioned right earlier. If your application is either you are capturing information, or if you are he is doing as a middleware sort of role as an application, even in that case, even if you are capturing the information, or if you are doing even the as a middleware role of the application, you will gonna get something. You will gonna get some input sort of information data. You will gonna perform some process that data. You will gonna apply some logic onto it, whether it's a calculation or some other process, and then at the end you will again going to as the output you will gonna transform that data into some other different segment, and it will get the flow to the downstream system, right? And as I talking about, if I talked about the reporting part a little bit, so if you see these are the Power BI tool, the inside, these are the very popular tools which can be used to just give us a presentation of your data, your trend, your reports and everything. Behind that, everything is actually captured into the data only, right? And that data is not the final one, because this data may be captured across the different tools, different application, or different way. Either it's a desktop application, whether it's a web-based application, all of this information getting captured over there and get processed into the database side, come into the backend, and then it will go to the, for reporting purposes, again it get transformed and goes to the that reporting tools and all. So these sort of things are going to happen in almost in every application. I mean, you will see if you look at the major behavior of the application and the characteristics of application is that only we are capturing something, we are processing it, we are applying some logic, we are doing some calculation, and then as an output, either we are showing as a result to fulfill any a process or something or the transaction, or maybe that data is after completing of your this particular thread of the transaction, that information goes to the reporting purpose. So that way generally that happen. Then there is obviously security comes into the picture, which earlier side also we talked about the security thing, which is also been captured into the low code no code thing. And then you see there are some visual modeling. I mean, this is again sort of how you wanted to present the information, or you wanted to use for your different model as a tool that come into the picture. And the no code side also, if you see, there are a lot of, I mean, I would say the kind of a situation it comes up where where we wanted to use the no code, when you have to have you wanted to do some sort of very situational things are there, and you wanted to use this for a particular purpose, that will get followed over here. It is talked about the specific analyzer. If you are using for an analyzer of specific current situation, according to your current situation, that will get applied. Or if you wanted to have some good feel to the vendor, being in a giving some sort of expertise or some sort of tool which can give you only the feedback sort of thing will be available. That will also comes up. Like there are, you see that there are a lot of researches are happening right nowadays in the market. They called you, they maybe ask you to fill up these forms and all. This actually this thing, this is a small no code part only. You are not writing anything to them. You are not doing anything. You are just a participant, or maybe it can be same sort of form, it gets shared across a lot of people, and they are giving the feedback on it. It get processed, giving the, so these are the very situational things that comes up, right? Where you wanted to use it, what is your functionality, and why you wanted to use that. That way it comes up. And similarly, if I'm going to touch upon, I'm not going to touch each and every part, but these are the major sort of platform things that come into the picture. We deal with the no code side of application of the product. Okay. Now I'm just moving ahead with the next slide. So this is the conclusion one. I mean, slowly I wanted to touch upon the recapping part, where you see the history of our no code application is started. How does the traditional application what development was happening, how the traditional application building was happening, and now how the whole transformation is done. And now we are again, this is we are still in the transformation. How the next level of the digital world will come from, when we are talking about the AI and all. This is the futuristic things will come into the picture. You'll see more advanced sort of things. And same thing, I mean, if I'm going to talk about that, we are in such a stage where this entire transformation is happening. With the traditional things, we are in the middle of something. I would say the age now. After that, you see there are a lot of advanced digital stage will comes up, where this all information. So started where we are captured a lot of information. Now we have the good amount of data, or the experience and expertise are available. Nowadays, all these things will get transferred into the AI, which can be helpful for, because AI need a lot of input, a lot of data to process it and come up with their, they can finalize their core behavior, core ethical, everything. I mean, I want to say all the characters will get built according to your all this input. So we are in that stage. Next stage will definitely come to the I would say the AI part will come into the picture. And why we are, how the transformation is happening, if you see the encouragement of this, these all tools, not only this, I mean, whichever development we are used to do it, this is basically, and even in the futurely, primarily it will gonna fall into the low code and no code only. Now any organization or any company, they don't want to spend more time onto the write anything from the scratch, right? Because don't have anybody, don't have a time. Everybody's are actually treating time is a very precious one. Even any customers also see taste of the customer and the market, it get completely get changed now. And why, that is why these all the processes that the I would say the methodology got changed from the traditional to the low code no code current digital world now. And even in the future, as I'm talking about, it will get again get changed as the maturity comes into the digital side day by day. The things will again gonna change in the futuristic purposes. So this is Moreover, I was talking about this, and now I wanted to hear from you guys. If you have any questions or doubts or query, please start shooting up your questions. We can answer.
Yes, Sunil. So, the question he's
Yeah,
asking, please clarify if domain expertise is needed to learn that Duck Creek technology.
yeah. So domain expertise, I mean to say, for Duck Creek, as again I am coming back to then touch upon, Duck Creek is a low code, it's a application, right? So domain expertise, that you should know the what generally what it does and how the which are the different functional area it does cover up. So domain in the sense you don't want it to be become a underwriter or something, but you should know that while you are, as I mentioned about the during my discussion, if I'm going to talk about any insurance company, how does the insurance company work, right? What is the insurance company business? How does they are doing it? So first is that they are selling the policy because that is their sellable thing. They are selling the policy. They are managing the policy. I mean, how does the once you sell the policy, there is your sales part, right? Where you are collecting the money, you are collecting the premiums and everything that get managed in the billing system. There's after that, after selling all this policy, obviously you're going to have some claims will come from it. That is, you are going to manage the claim setup. These are the major modules, I would say, into the any insurance company. And if you wanted to understand how the Duck Creek application works, you need to touch upon, and this basic domain knowledge you should have it. So it would be easy for you. See, domain knowledge, I'm not saying the further you will gonna have it, but as soon as you start working with the application, you will understand that what does my application gonna, what is the purpose is getting served from this application, whether it's a policy, whether it's a billing, or whether it's a claim. On top of it, there are other things are also there. But because you talked about the Duck, so I just touching upon these three major models because these different models is serving some using for some specific purposes, and how does that get satisfied? And that's what the domain knowledge, lie with this all models around it. But it is not mandatory. I mean, as a beginner, it is not required mandatorily. But if you understand it very well, how the insurance company works, so that would gonna help you. Obviously, any domain knowledge will always be helpful for you to deal with the business and to understand the business requirement in a better way. So that helps. But that's not only the mandatory
Yeah,
system.
domain knowledge is something the business users should know, right? So be it any application, not specifically Duck Creek. So whatever this low code no code solution platform we are using, we at least we should know about the domain. So what is the domain? Then it will be easy for us to rearrange and just drag and drop we just mentioned.
Yeah.
So it would be easy for the rearranging of those things.
Nice, nice. So, so we have one more guy, Alvin. So he's asking to help with some examples, names of products where we'll have capabilities issues.
Capability issues.
So product names, I think.
Yeah.
So all kind of CRM applications you are seeing in the market, so those you can define as those developed on the low code no code basis, right? The e-com applications. So
Hmm. Yeah.
suppose I am using suppose I'm a seller, I'm selling my product on Amazon, right? So I don't need to understand how Amazon is built or the Flipkart is built. I just need to know how can I list my products there. I can place my products over that Amazon platform so that the customers can see it and they can buy it. So you can take those as an example. So when you are using it, right, we are not bothered about how Amazon is developed, how they are doing it, and they're listing the products. Rather, my job as an user, when I'm a seller, I just need to understand how I need to put and where I need to put my products so that it will be displayed on the screen.
Okay.
So those kind of applications you can take into account when you are
Right.
thinking of low code no code solution.
Right. Right. So the final question from Sri Krishna, he's asking how LinkedIn or Facebook would be a no-code example, as we cannot make any changes in these applications.
So in LinkedIn, it's basically a community platform, right? And it doesn't, you know how to write anything. I mean, you know how to do a coding for that. It is just simply you have to install it, registered it, and you can build your profile and you can keep it on that. So here we are, I mean, I want to say you are not doing any specific configuration around that apart from creating your own profile, right? That's why it's a no-code tool. You can say that. Even in the if you see, there is a purpose to integrate with the different specific community of the people come together. For that purpose, they have created. But that is the first product. Why we I just give the name of this one, no code, because that was the very initial. If you look at the history, the LinkedIn was one of the profile. He actually bring all of the professionals together into the specific sort of community where you can come and create a community. And this has also been inspired from the Facebook only. If you look at the past history, Facebook actually, you know the history of, right, how does the Facebook come into the picture? Just build it into the university as a to your own college, and later on it become the web, and it went to the across the different people and the student, and not only the student, now everyone is using. So similar to that, LinkedIn was started with the specific community of professional to interact and sharing the information, or the sharing the no, uh, specifically it is more for a IT people are more prominently using, because they are actually having all the they can show their potential experiences, what are the skill set they have, everything over there. So that's why here you are presenting your own thing, right? Whatever you are writing it, whatever you are putting it, that is something for your own, we wanted to exhibit to the other people. But you are not writing a code for anything over there, right? So that's why it's a fall into the no code side. It is not a, even then there is no configuration required for it. When no code and the low code, there's a basic difference is that where you put, like as I've talked about the SAP application, as I talked about the Duck Creek, as I talked about the uh, Majesco application. If I'm going to talk about the Tally, I don't know whether you guys are aware about this. Is very old nowadays, also available. Who are managing
Yes,
for
yes.
financial accounting and all fintech products. So these are actually going to have their own sort of guideline, and the out of box functionalities are available. Okay, and on top of it, if you wanted to do customization, you have to configure in such a way that your particular sort of sales flow is there. It can be get managed. If you wanted to manage your manufacturing order in a particular way, it can be get managed in a particular tailored way or something. That can be that configurability available. That can, you have to configure accordingly. That sort of customization only, but it can be done to the configurability, and that is what that fall into the low code. That's the basic difference I was highlighting it over here. I
Right,
hope
right.
that answer.
Yeah, yeah. So I request, so is there any questions? Okay, we'll wrap this meeting. I request Indra Garu from Computer Society of India to conclude the session.
I have one question. I'm Prabhakar here.
Yep.
Yes,
So
Indra, please go ahead.
yeah, this question is around the AI or the generative AI. Of course, by understanding these concepts, low code or no code are the tools that we can plug and play, and maybe with some customization and all. But uh, what is the impact on these tools with the generative AI? Because even with generative AI, let us say I have no background on creating web application and all that, but maybe with some kind of some prompting in the tools, I can create this application in a day or so. For example, any small scale applications. So, what could be the impact of these tools already developed in the future? Maybe some insights on it.
Well, if you see, I have already mentioned about some chatbot part, right? Which is already sort of the beginning of the advanced, very initial stage of the AI, I would say, because again, it comes down to the users, right? How you are going to use it, where you wanted to have it. Some of the profession, it can be very useful, where it can be goes in a very very primarily it can be get applicable over there. But in some of the function or some of the sectors, it might be not that powerful. So the AI will comes into the picture when it depends upon the different sectors of the things. Like for example, if you wanted to do some manual work, I mean, generally why AI comes up to avoid your manual work, the effort, right? Whatever you are putting it get minimized. And majorly, if you, even though I was hearing this AI from a long time, even in it would be more practical to the people or the manufacturing world, because there where you have physical activities or get involved, there that would be really going to help us. But similarly, those sort of AI is also come into the application in the IT side, where it's this sort of example, right? Chatbots comes up where there is a person who can read the news for us. Even in the future, you see, we are already interacting with the AI tools where I don't know whether you heard that if you go into some of the smart homes or something, everything gets managed on your mobile, right? Something, even if you're driving your car, nowadays there is a voice commands comes up, which we were what is that you can say, the I just forgot, sunroofs get opened up to the voice command. This is the pure very small level of very small AI example, I would say. But again, it depends upon the users, right? How the people are going to accept that, and how the generation will get mold. According to that, that users will keep on increasing, I would say. And more, it would be helpful for the, it depends again, I mean, how it will going to impact that, it will, it's sort of a question. But it's upon the people, or I would say the kind of the human being who's actually going to deal with them. If the people who are going to deal with the new technology and all, I remember that when the initially the internet and all WhatsApp and Facebook are comes up, nobody were using it. I mean, I'll tell you my example, where my parents and my relatives are not aware about it, because they're not, I mean, not relative, I would say the using past generation people, like you are in young now. If you talked about your mom, dad and grandparents, they might not no, they're not aware about it. But nowadays, because of everybody are using, they also force and they join it, and they are accepting all of this new trend, right? So again, it depends upon the trend, how the acceptance will come from the people. And definitely it's going to impact a lot of the way, like automation, auto world. Definitely one of the very great impact would be I'm expecting. Other than that, I would say in education sector also we're going to find a lot of impact. A lot of things will be get testings and the checking of the papers and new exams and everything. The whole cycle will gonna change. That will gonna happen, and it depends upon the different sector. But definitely going to have some impact like this in our life in the future.
And talking about the generative AI, Prabhakar, your question is, I think it's not late. I think you will get something low code, no code platform which will be developed on generative AI. So the prompt engineering you mentioned, right? You can prompt and you can get your things done. So
Yes.
this is not long due.
Yeah.
We'll get it.
True. We are doing it already now, so that's where maybe I thought of checking with the tools already developed on this low code and no code.
No, it's not developed yet. I think the chatbot you can take as one example. The chatbot we are integrating on different companies, right? So this is one tool you can say, you can take those as example. But the extensive use not yet happened, but it will be not long due that you will get something in place.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Thank you.
So Chandra, you can take over.
Sure. Am I audible?
Yep.
Yes, largely.
Sure, Harsha. Before I get into vote of thanks, let me add a few points. There are many young engineers who want to be developers and yet do not want to code. This low code, no code, or drag and drop programming will certainly help them.
Yes.
All
Yeah.
know that the current wave of digital revolution was majorly built on three pillars: English, engineering, quantity. With them, we could rule the roost for the last 30 years and remain as world technology hub. But the next digital 2.0 movement gives us a very different challenge hidden with golden opportunity. That is to remain as a superpower. It is not only the engineering stream, but every discipline has to be part of digital revolution as we need more hands at work. Israel has better engineers, but there is no quantity. China has quantity, but the quality and English are biggest constraints. We in Bharat have quality engineers and in large quantity. Only thing missing is direction and focus. Low code, no code provides a unique opportunity for everyone to be part of digital 2.0 movement. Come, learn and kickstart our alternate technology careers. Ladies and gentlemen, as we come to the close of our online webinar, Unlocking Creativity, Low Code and No Code Solutions, I want to take a moment to express our heartfelt gratitude to our distinguished speakers, Kunal, Tapas and Sunil, for their exceptional contribution to today's event. My special thanks to Kirti for her continuous support in conducting webinars for Computer Society of India. Dear speakers, your presentation was nothing short of extraordinary. Your ability to engage our online audience, even in this virtual setting, was truly remarkable. Your insights and expertise, I am sure, must have left an indelible mark on our attendees, inspiring them and providing a deeper understanding of the transformative power of low-code and no-code solutions. Dear Kunal, Tapas, and Sunil, once again, thank you for your dedication and expertise in making our online webinar a resounding success. Your generosity in sharing your knowledge has left a lasting impact on our virtual audience. We look forward to the possibility of collaborating with you in the future for more enlightening and engaging online events. Dear participants, thank you for being part of this incredible webinar. Asha, thank you very much for conducting this event smoothly. Asha, we can conclude it. We can stop recording and close the session. Thanks, everyone.
Sure, sir. Thank you.
Thanks everyone. Thanks, Kirti.
Everyone.